Okay, guys, we're here with Andrew Comrie-Picard, known by a lot of people as ACP. Which do you prefer, Andrew, ACP? How'd you like to be called?
I answered both.
You answered above. Well, I'll go with Andrew for now because ACP sounds too TV. Welcome to Oversteer TV. Let's get right into it. Big announcement. I think it was yesterday. After years of driving all-wheel drive Mitsubishi, suddenly you're driving a two-wheel drive Scion. How'd that all happen?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Well, the Scion team have been, over the last sort of year, dipping their toe in the water of rally in America. They've done a pretty smart job of it with their marketing and just sort of getting the lay of the land. And they wanted to sort of expand the program and improve the car. And because I've been at it for a while, they gave me a call. The car was actually, there've already been 3 of these cars. We're on the 3rd one. So it's been a rapid evolution. But Chris Duplessis drove it for the first couple of events, a few events, but he's gone on to other things. So I think a lot of Chris, and really I think this is an excellent, it has been an excellent place for him, but he's got other plans now. So they were looking to fill the vacuum that he left, and I was happy to come in.
Have you had a chance to be behind the wheel of the Scion yet?
No, well, I have literally been behind the wheel, but the car has been being turbocharged at Ready for the last couple of weeks, and it's just now basically back on the road. So we'll be testing it next week, just before the rally in Washington.
Okay. The two-wheel drive class, big difference from the all-wheel drive, the open class and SB class. Two-wheel drive class. Do you have any experience rallying in two-wheel drive?
Yeah, I started out in two-wheel drive actually. Now 11 years ago. First in rear-wheel drive in Europe, and then in front-wheel drive in Canada with a Lada. I won sort of the regional production class championship in a production Lada, Russian Lada. And then actually I ran that down in May in 2000, meaning that May last year was actually my 10th anniversary of the sport in the U.S. And finished for a 90 horsepower car, and it was mid-pack, did pretty well. So I think I only was beaten in the class by a Porsche 911. So it's been a while, for sure, since I've run front-wheel drive on gravel. Probably the last time I ran one was maybe in 2002. That said, I last year did a couple of RallyCrosses in Europe in a Suzuki Swift, which is front-wheel drive. And in 2006, I ran basically a street stock Mitsubishi Lancer front-wheel drive in a Rocky Mountain rally, which was super muddy. So with one-wheel drive, we were a miracle to finish 12th, I think. So the answer to your question is that it's been a while, but that's kind of where I came from.
By the way, I think this is probably the first time in years that 2 people in North America in an interview have both raced Ladas.
That's amazing. You're a Lada man also?
Back in the 80s, I did a few races down in the Dominican Republic in a Lada.
That's amazing. Well, we should talk Russian a little bit, right? Like this is,
Nah. My Lada was half Fiat parts anyway.
I know. Well, the funny thing was, the Lada was a damn competitive little car. It was strong like bull, you know. And the car that I had actually had a bunch of Group A parts on it, including the wheels, which were they were actually machined. They were turned on a lathe from tailings of pure magnesium at the big factory in Russia. Some guy came up to me at the main forest rally once and told me that. And there were no markings or anything on them. They just obviously could turn on a lathe. They weighed 7 pounds.
Wow.
So it was actually a pretty damn good car.
Yeah,
it's still running too. That car,
right.
And 10 years ago, has gone through 3 or 4 owners since, and it's still kind of training young guys how to drive front-wheel drive.
Oh, it was when I had it. It was a friend of mine built it the race. I raced a couple of times. Then the Lada dealership down there closed, and so we had to go to the Fiat dealership because it's basically a 124.
Yeah.
You know, the parts just swapped in and out.
And what I had actually was a Lada Samara, which is a
okay.
car. It's a lot more modern than your previous Lada. What was the model of that one? What did you call that one?
Geez, I forgot. It was just the plain Jane Lada. That's all they called it.
1500i probably.
Yeah,
based on the 124. Well, they had an engineering partnership with Fiat and GM, so mine had GM fuel injection and stuff. So it's actually quite a good little car.
Oh wow, no, mine had like a little lawnmower carburetor and stuff like that. Anyway, back to the rallying, back to everything. RallyCross, you're not going to make it, I understand, to this RallyCross up in Seattle this weekend, but you're trying to make one in the near future?
Yeah, there's 2 aspects to that. So the first is I've got my rally cars still, my Mitsubishi rally cars, but the car that we want to use, the Evo 10, is not. I used it on a TV show a couple of weeks ago for a sensational thing, actually, a bunch of stunts, but succeeded in blowing the turbo and damaging the motor and messing up the body. So it's not truly ready, and we're waiting on parts and some stuff we're doing with Mitsubishi on that. And then second of all, RallyCross is so competitive that we don't want to show up, and especially because we've got a little more Mitsubishi branding on the car now and things, thanks to what we did on this TV show. Don't want to show up and not be showing well. And with basically a Group N rally car with a bigger restrictor on it, we'll probably be, we could possibly do well in the limited class, but I don't think that would put us in the A main. So it's going to require sort of a leap in investment or a shift to the next level, and for that we're looking for the right sponsor. I think that we'll have that in place for Colorado, and I'm enthusiastic about Colorado as a rallycross, also because it's just a week before Pikes Peak, where I plan to race this year, and I've got some finished business there. So I expect we'll spend a couple of weeks in Colorado.
Okay. I was talking with somebody else about that with the rallycross. You got the guys that show up there with those full-blown, purpose-built Ford Fiestas for rallycross. They bring them over here, and they're trying to build a sport here, but it's pretty much outclassing everybody else's car out here. Do you think that's good for a sport? Do you think they should have said, hey, let's hold off on the monster cars bringing over from Europe and let's develop what we have here first? Or do you think, let's bring them over and we have to play catch-up?
I think that's a really difficult question because there's good arguments on both sides. It would be analogous to like starting rally in America for the first time, and for there to be like 5 WRC cars and then a few other guys who kind of heard about rallying and kind of built little cars from it. The ERC cars are definitely insanely well developed. Both those Ford Fiestas and some of the other cars that we may see coming over. The Ford Focus, for example, that was at New Jersey in the fall, the engineering and the number of times they replaced turbos and things, the amount of money in that, as in the Oldsburg's cars, is remarkable, and it's a whole order of magnitude above, what we've really been doing in North America. So I think on the one hand, it's great for the sport because it shows the incredible competitiveness at the front of the field, and when you get 6 of those cars, like popping and banging on the start line and leaping to 60 in just over 2 seconds, and then rubbing body panels and bits of carbon flying, it's freaking awesome. It's terrific. The problem is getting more than a few teams that are going to be able to go to that level. Cars are available in Europe, but you're going to have a few $100,000 to get one, and that's an order of magnitude bigger than we've experienced in the U.S. So if the series goes well, and I think it has real potential, it's got great management, a lot of interesting people involved, then maybe there'll be enough sponsorship for more people to do it. But I don't want to see it end up like off-road. I love off-road racing, but there's a group of people who can afford to run the top vehicles, and it's hard for a lot of other guys to get to that level. I'd rather see there be one of the things I like about rallying is that there's a kind of a feeder up to the top level, and for better or for worse, there's kind of been a bit of an armistice or an arms treaty in rally in the U.S. for the last 5-6 years. We had an era when there were some WRC cars coming over by both Subaru and Mitsubishi. But I credit actually Vermont Sports Car and Subaru for not upping the game so far with their factory team. The guys like me, more or less, or Antoine Lestage, say, or Bill Bacon, couldn't build basically Group N plus cars and be at least competitive. It's kind of a golden age of rallying insofar as you can be basically a privateer with a little bit of investment and do really well. So I think it's one of the things that RallyCross is going to certainly have to answer, how to get more high-level professionals to make it a deeper field while entertaining a class that will prove to be a feeder for those guys.
I don't know what to say. Thank you. You've given us a lot of information, a lot of insight, a lot of thoughtful insight on what's going on at Rally, and I know you're a very busy man, so I'm not going to take any more of your time. Andrew Comrie-Picard, good luck. You're going to be with the Scion and XD in Olympus in a couple of weeks, right?
Looking forward to it. Yeah, great bunch of guys, and it's a great car, and I think it's going to be a super effort, and I look forward to helping them expand it.
All right. That's Andrew Comrie-Picard, and thank you very much. See you soon.
Take care, guys.